today we are going to talk about micromanagement. So with us today is Casey McGuigan, our product owner for Slingshot. And my name is Jason Barris. I'm our Senior VP of Developer Tools. We've both been with Slingshot since the product really was sort of ideated years ago. And now we're at a really good point. And we're pretty excited to continue to share with you all what Slingshot can do for your business. So today's agenda, we're going to look at the 7 signs of micromanagement. And really, when you see the demo, how Slingshot helps avoid some of these signs. You know, if you're in a business today and you feel that, oh my gosh, people are always asking me what to do, my boss wants to, keep checking up on me. There's other ways to make that whole process better, delivering transparency across your organization, and then all the things that go with that. Like, hey, here's a project that anyone can go look at the status of the project at any time. Here's some dashboards where people can see where we're at with sales, or where we're at with marketing efforts, or different campaigns, or how product development is doing. So there's all kinds of things that you can do through digital workplace tools like Slingshot, which can really help alleviate the micromanagement. So what are the 7 signs of micromanagement? And if anyone knows the next 7, or they got 8, 9, and 10, please share with us in the Q&A and chat, and we'll share them with everyone else if you experience this at your workplace with your manager. So number 1, avoiding delegation. This is a big issue with micromanagement. And the second area where all this delegation avoidance is where you become overly involved in the work of your employees. So for example, if you're the manager and the delegation isn't happening, or you're not seeing delegation, and then you're trying to, have those daily meetings on what is this individual doing, or what's so-and-so doing. And this might be your manager's manager, your manager's manager's manager. And that's really where we see 1 and 2 hurt organizations. Number 3 is the frequent updates and status reporting that's required. So if you have a transparent organization and everyone can see where every project is at, no one needs a status report. Back in the early 2005, maybe through 2010, 2012, I used to have to do this weekly status report. And I never knew what level of detail was appropriate. Should it be high level and just a handful of bullets of what me and my team did? Or should it be like every single detail? So some managers on a weekly basis would spend all of Friday afternoon working on their status report. So they would turn in like a 10-page status report, and then others would just have bullets. And I guess everything was okay, but that really is counterproductive. No one wants to be asked for a status report. If information on projects is transparent and anyone in the organization can see where you're at, number 3 literally goes away. At Infragistics, it's completely gone away. We have 100% transparency across the organization with where we're at in projects. Anyone can pop into a discussion. Analytics are in our data catalog, and all this is achieved through Slingshot. There's nothing worse than when a manager says, oh, CC me on that email, or go ahead and email, employee X, but CC me. Just the fact of a manager's name being on an email strikes fear in the heart of most workers, right? So no one wants to see their manager's manager on an email thread, because then you never know what their goal is. Are they just trying to get information? Are they is someone in trouble? You really don't know. So these micromanagement issues go away when you're using, for example, discussions in Slingshot. Number 5, constantly hearing complaints that people don't know what's going on. They're never satisfied with information. If everything's transparent and everything is shared across an organization, no matter how large, no one's complaining. What you might complain about is, man, I wish we had more people. I wish I had 10 more people to help me do this project faster and better, because look at all these great things that we could do. Look at how quickly we could finish our tasks. That's where the discussions turn to. It's never about how, X department isn't pulling their weight. No one ever knows what they're doing. That really creates a lot of problems across an organization, and everyone's experienced that. And it's really unfortunate, because all it takes is sharing information. Even at the highest level. Even if you start with Slingshot and you create a single dashboard on here's what we're doing and here's our project status, you're going to make everyone feel more comfortable about how your team is doing, how they're delivering, and how they're contributing to those strategic goals of your department, division, company, etc. Number 6, leaving no room for creativity and initiatives and discouraging independent decision making. This is one of the worst sides of micromanagement. And usually this happens in smaller groups or one-on-ones. You probably have been in a meeting with a manager at one point in your life where, you have some great idea and you're all excited and you can do it, but it's shot down. But if you had brought it up to maybe the whole team could have gotten behind it and probably achieved it with you. With micromanagement and managers trying to control the decisions, control the narrative, control each individual because they're the ones asking to be CC'd. They're the ones asking for status reports. They want to control every aspect of what you do. Terrible for micromanagement. With something like Slingshot, when you do have a group discussion, you can just offer up an idea, share it with the entire team, or actually with Slingshot, if it's in a workspace, everyone gets that discussion anyway for your, let's say, marketing team. And then people can collaborate on it, add ideas, and contribute to it. And then number 7, don't pass on their skills and knowledge. This is the worst aspect of micromanagement. I have all the information. I can't share it with you, or else maybe you look better than me in a meeting, or I need to be the person that always does this job. I'm the bottleneck, and it creates problems for everything else. So 1 through 7, I think we've all experienced these. And what you're going to learn in our demo today is how Slingshot can really help your organization overcome. And it could be an incremental improvement or an improvement all at once, all of these issues when it comes to micromanagement. And we hear this all the time. No one likes to be micromanaged. What tools can help us get there? So trust and transparency is really what it's all about. So with Slingshot, I mentioned a couple areas in our list of the 7 signs of micromanagement, but really only Slingshot integrates your data analytics, project and file management, chats, goals, discussions, long-term strategies in a single tool. We've been doing a bunch of research lately and a bunch of surveys on what folks are looking for in digital workplace tools. And of course, we all have our Microsoft Teams or maybe our Slack, and maybe we use Asana, maybe we use Power BI. But more and more, what people want is an integrated workplace. They don't want to keep jumping to Asana and then have to go look in Power BI for a dashboard or do a discussion in Slack or Teams that's disconnected from these other tools. Slingshot brings it all together. The benefit of that, it keeps everyone in the know. You don't have to do anything special to make all this happen. It just sort of happens for your organization organically. You can use data and insights to make better, faster decisions through analytics and through different types of dashboards that you can create. We have like 30 or more data connectors to your typical SaaS-based systems like Google Analytics and others, as well as on-prem SQL servers or analysis servers in the cloud, or even things like Snowflake. And you can create your own dashboards and share those across your organization. At Infragistics, we have all kinds of dashboards in our data catalog in Slingshot, and everyone has access to them if they have access to those data sources. So you have this default security built in. Then, of course, when everyone's in the know, everyone's trying to achieve the goals. It's going to be very public that, hey, this project's behind. Can a few other folks help get this done quicker? This happens all the time. And then, of course, whenever there's accountability, performance increases. It's really sad when you see these reports now that people are working from home. They're not working all day because they can get away with it. They're not in the office. Well, a tool like Slingshot, if you're a manager and you're running multiple projects and there's a lot of tasks in those projects with deliverables, you'll know who needs help, who's not performing at the level maybe they were when we weren't all remote, or maybe that you think they should be. And it gives you an opportunity as a manager to really coach that person or give them the help that they need along the way, because we're in a whole new world now with remote work and remote management. So with that, I am going to stop the share. We'll pass it over to Casey, who's going to show us some of these nice features that we talked about in the slides. So Casey, I'll let you take it away. And I see that you've answered a bunch of the questions in the Q&A, and we'll probably circle back to some of those at the end.
All right. Awesome. You can hear me?
Yep, you sound great.
Awesome. I don't know if you noticed, did you notice on the slide the two little zeros?
Yeah, I noticed it before, and I thought those were those little eye emojis, like look, like
no,
look.
Classic case of lost my mouse while while the deck was opened, I guess. All right, and you can see my screen?
Yep, looks great.
Okay, cool. So as Jason mentioned, I am going to run through those kind of like those top 4 things that he mentioned around keeping everyone in the know, using data insights to make better, faster decisions, striving to accomplish goals, increasing performance and accountability, and how that kind of happens here in Slingshot. So as I go through this kind of like a demo here, Slingshot from a high level, it's your all-in-one digital workplace. So as Forbes kind of put it in one of their articles, like imagine your tools like Asana and your tools like Tableau and Slack all into one application. So you don't have to interrupt workflows every day to accomplish different initiatives when it comes to chatting, data, and managing your projects. So when you come into Slingshot here at your My Overview, and everything up here in the top left is where me as an individual can kind of keep track of my work and top priorities. So I have anything that I've bookmarked throughout Slingshot. I have a view of my upcoming tasks for this month and any mentions that I've missed, whether somebody mentioned me in a chat, a discussion, or inside of a task, which you'll see. But my tasks, I'm able to kind of keep track of literally anything that is assigned to me anywhere in Slingshot. So I can have accountability for myself and make sure that I'm getting my work done when it needs to be. You can see here that there are some things that are overdue that stand out to me on my Kanban here. And then I'm able to kind of drag and drop these things. So as things get completed, I can pull them over and keep track of, like I said, everything that is my responsibility. Anything shared with me in Slingshot, any dashboards and analytics that I've created. Jason, you can still hear me, right? I hope.
Yep, I can still hear you.
Okay, I hope I don't lose internet. It keeps happening to me. Okay, so here's where I can create real-time dashboards from a number of data sources, which I'll show you. And then I can keep all of my core content up here. But as kind of like a manager that needs to make sure that my team is performing to the best of their ability within our workspaces down here. So we have a use case for marketing. So as I'm marketing manager running a team, you can have a workspace here that shows everybody that is a member of your team. It has core content that you need to keep top of mind. So team handbooks, certain analytics, the action plans for the year. And then you can see a breakdown by person of all of their tasks within this workspace and kind of where things might be on fire that might need attention that you can click into and kind of see, all right, Miriam, content plan never got done from June. How can I help maybe reprioritize Miriam from within this task? So I don't have to dive into all the nitty-gritty details as a manager. Let's go down through a project for a specific use case. So say we're managing our PPC management. And within this project, again, you have specific content that you want to keep top of mind. So you have a few different pins here where you can really pin anything from any of your cloud providers. So I can go into content and I can connect right to my OneDrive, SharePoint, Google Drive, Dropbox, Box, really any cloud provider you're using, which allows you to kind of pull multiple things together as well. So when you need something, it's very easy to find. You don't have to waste so much time going through hundreds of levels of folders within these providers and bouncing between them. It's very intuitive and easy to find what you need when you need it in Slingshot. And then again, as maybe somebody that's managing PPC, I can see that from a high level, we got 2 things that are blocked. I can drill further down into these tasks as well. And kind of, this is assigned to myself, but let's say maybe this was assigned to Miriam, and I can mention her and say, how can we, gosh, can't spell, block this. Miriam gets a notification. So I'm just helping my team kind of get back on track with some of their tasks. And then from moving over to the next tab, we have tasks here that you can kind of see some different views. So you have list views that have subtasks and parent tasks. You can break your tasks up into different lists, so you don't have giant long running lists that go on forever. You can kind of categorize them within your lists, and then you can switch views. So I can see things in a Kanban view. I can group my Kanban view into different swim lanes as well. So if I want to group by maybe assignee and kind of see where my resources are lining up for this particular list. And then we have timeline as well, where you can zoom out to months and you can kind of see timeline and how you can set dependencies very easily as well between these different tasks in here. And then I'll just flip it back to lists really quick. And then within discussions is where kind of like a lot of keeping everybody in the know comes into play, where you can have project and workspace level conversations that can revolve, as you can see here, an example, revolve around data, or it can revolve around a particular initiative or just sharing of ideas back and forth that anybody on this project can come to and kind of see the different conversations and discussions that are going on. And then in pins is where you can keep even more detailed information for this particular project. So here you can just see more content that has been pinned in here. I've pinned as well, or I can pin URLs for research. So as I am doing research around the web for PPC, you can come in here and pin any of those different URLs that you find, so you can keep them also top of mind, share them with your team, and you can always come back here to easily access them as well. And then dashboards. So dashboards are where a lot of the data-driven decision-making comes into play. So if I come up here to actually add a new dashboard, we have, as you can kind of start to see, a ton of different data sources in here. So Slingshot has an entire business intelligence engine inside of it. So you can create dashboards and visualizations from a lot of today's most popular sources that you can kind of start to see in here. We also try to release a new data source every few weeks. So we have things like Twitter and YouTube and Google search ads and stuff coming next on our list. But for any of, not what I meant to do, marketers out there, you can see that we have Google ads, Google Analytics, some social connectors. For this though, let's use a file that I have here. Let's just do content marketing, KPIs. I'll select my data. And now I am in our visualization editor. So if I want to very easily create a line chart that shows maybe our traffic, I pull over my 2 date fields that I need. I can change the formatting of my different labels here. I can change the title for organic. I don't know why my keyboard stopped working. We'll leave the title as is for right now. I think my other monitor has it stuck. Okay, so we'll leave that as is for now. Let me see if I can just rename it. There we go. Getting traffic. And now I can continue to add different visualizations. I can pull data from multiple sources into a single dashboard. So if I have some data in Excel, but then I also have, let's say, real-time data in Google Analytics, I can come into Google Analytics here, select my data. Maybe I want to, let's just do traffic by device. So I'll type in device. We have device category. I can create a donut chart and we'll look at page views in here. And this is a staging site, so it doesn't have the best data, but you would see desktop and mobile and tablet on here if you're familiar with Google Analytics. So we'll do organic traffic by device. I'll hit the check up here, and then I can continue to keep adding more and more. So really, dashboards are great for being able to pull together your entire customer journey into one view. So when you're doing, for example, like the paid marketing, you have spend in Google Ads, and then you have traffic in Google Analytics, and then you have leads that go into Salesforce and opportunities and all these things that you can pull together into one view to create all of your customer journeys and insights. So once you have kind of like the dashboard that you want, we'll just use this for now. Just call this traffic for the time being. And now I will save this. I'm going to actually save it up at marketing. Save here. I'll close this. And now you can see up at marketing, we have our dashboard here. So you've kind of seen like your tasks, discussions, and pins. One of the really awesome things within Slingshot is how all of those tabs work very nicely together. So if I am in a dashboard and I'm looking at my data, I don't have to go to another application to start a conversation with my team around maybe some insights that I have, or create a task off of certain insights that I have as well. I can come right up here to the overflow menu. I can go to start a discussion. I can start it with my whole marketing team department that I have. So I'll do some insights in here. I already have something on session, so I'll go into the same one. I'll do next. You see that there's a link right to the dashboard that gets pulled in. I can come and annotate this dashboard as well. So I can take an image. I'll maximize this and take a full screenshot of this, and then I can annotate it so that when I send my message, my team knows exactly what I'm referring to. I'll click done, and then I can mention the whole team. I can mention specific people. Why did we have declines these months? So now marketing gets a notification, and I've very easily kicked off a data-driven conversation. From these conversations as well, you can create tasks. So if I go to look at Miriam on top of it, so from Miriam's message that she's hopping on, the rest of the team can chime in, keeping everybody in the know around what's going on. So we move spend to other products and sales for seasonal. So can we move them back? And from here, when Miriam says, yes, of course, I can come to even this overflow. I can create a task for Miriam in PPC. We'll call it in the project tasks. We'll do next. And I guess it's increase spend. Back up, I can now assign this right to Miriam. She said today, which is great. I'll give it a today. And now she has a link to the discussion, a link to the dashboard that was in the conversation or the chat that I started the task off of, and I can click create. So just like that, going from your insights to conversation to action, right without having to switch between multiple applications. And good job, Miriam. All right, Jason, anything that I missed or had to cover?
There was a question around sharing dashboards. Can you decide who has access to the dashboard?
Yep. So any dashboard that's in marketing, the entire workspace can see that, for example, Google Analytics is here. But if I open this and I do not have access to the Google Analytics data, I cannot see this data. So sharing within Slingshot is you could add things to workspaces and projects, or you can share individual pieces with groups or individual people, but it does not grant access to the actual data. So for this one, this is done in Google Analytics. So if Miriam, for example, isn't a part of our Google Analytics permissions, she cannot see this data, even if this dashboard was shared with her.
And there was another one around data as well. We have a lot of dashboards, or I'm sorry, I'm thinking dashboards. We have a lot of Excel files in Dropbox. Can we create dashboards with those Excel files?
Yes. So right from a few different ways. From the PPC, I think I had an Excel file attached. Yep. So right from any Excel files that you have within Slingshot, you can go right from your overflow menu and go into creating a dashboard. So select my data and I'm in the editor. So really I don't think I have an actual Dropbox, but if I remember, if I go to add a dashboard, I would add a data source. You would choose Excel. And then from in here, your Dropbox would be added and you can navigate right to that Excel file and use it to create your dashboard.
Okay. Can you click add again? Just that went away pretty quick. Let's see. Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, Box, SharePoint. So any file in those file providers, you can create dashboards from, you can pin to different workspaces and share with other folks.
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah, that was basically it. It was mostly data questions. There was a couple other ones, but you answered those before I actually got or before your demo. So I think we can wrap this up. I'll take the screen share back. Let me share my screen and share. Great. So that's it. What we want you to do is give Slingshot a try. You can start a trial at slingshotapp.io. And it is all the features that you saw today in Casey's demo are available to you through a trial. And through that trial, we'll also, based on where you're located in the world, notify the regional solution consultants and sales folks in those regions, and they'll be able to reach out to you and contact you, maybe setting up a POC or trying to understand more how Slingshot might be able to help you and your organization eliminate all of the issues around micromanagement and really get moving on that all-in-one digital workplace to create trust, transparency, and collaboration across your enterprise. So I want to thank everyone today. We know your time is valuable and we appreciate it. And we will see you at the next webinar. And thank you, Casey, for a great demo. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.